Protection Committee of Community Board 9, first meeting of this year. I want to begin by thanking our former chair, Debbie, for her service. How many years were you chair?
What was it? Two?
Too
Yeah,
many?
I wanna say two.
Too many.
No, because I chaired the, what do you call it before? When I first started, I was, vice chair for the health department, health and social services. I did transportation, so I've been chairing a few
Yeah, good,
meetings well.
good. My second year on the committee, second year on the board, I
Well,
guess.
congratulations.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad, that other members are getting involved.
Thank you for not fighting me for the
The what?
not fighting me for the
Oh, absolutely
the
not.
opportunity to
No.
so good. We're gonna do a round of introductions because we've got some new members here tonight. So, Marissa, would you like to start?
Yeah, of course. So I'm Marissa. I've been in the neighborhood on and off for a few years now. I used to travel for work. Recently I was in Berlin and Germany, but I moved back and just looking to get more involved. So I work in human resources and I'm pivoting into cybersecurity. So in the tech industry, but I love the neighborhood. I like going to Prospect Park. I like seeing all of the faces and seeing everything popping up. So, trying to get
What part of the district do you live in?
So I'm literally like right around the corner. So I don't know what this is, but like literally, like not even 5 minutes from here. So
Okay.
Okay, well, welcome.
yeah.
Good.
Hi, I'm
Hi.
Samantha. I've lived in the neighborhood for about 10 years. Some random man at the farmer's
A
market one
random
day
man.
was like, oh, you should, I was talking to the farmer's market people and they're like, you should be on the community board, you should be a resident member. We need young people. I'm old, so I don't know why he told me, but I'm here.
Thank you for accepting the invitation.
Wonderful.
Yeah, my name is Eric. I'm a returning member of the board. I've been living in the neighborhood for more than 55 years. I've always lived in neighborhoods, so I know this neighborhood in and out. I'm retired and I took on the position of being what I call a community activist. So that's what I do.
Good trouble.
Yes,
Good trouble.
good trouble, as John Lewis would say.
Agendas.
Oh. I turned that, okay, so this is the updated one?
Couple versions. The version that I brought, you're welcome to take your notes on. The other one, whatever, you're welcome
Let's see.
to.
It's
So,
All right, so
similar.
pass these
I don't
around.
see any major.
They're the same?
The only thing I added was consideration of the secretary.
Right, we had
So-
that.
That's here.
Thank you. So, Rod?
Okay, my name is Rod Herbert. I too have been in the community for 59 years.
Ooh,
Born and raised here in Brooklyn. I'm a retired engineer from Con Edison, and I know the neighborhood in and out, just like Eric does, and I like being here.
And what part of the district do you live in?
So I live in the most southeast portion of the district, by Troy Avenue, by Kings County Hospital, over by there.
Wingate area. So.
Wingate area, yes.
Wingate, yeah.
Native neighborhood.
Hello everyone, my name is Isaiah. I've been in the neighborhood for 5 years. I started attending the Environmental Protection Committee meetings last year, and then someone said that I should become a full member of the board, so I applied. And here I am now.
Are you a full member of the board now?
Yes, I am.
Welcome.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So you've been sworn in and all that sort of stuff?
Not yet,
Not yet,
but
okay.
It wasn't a random man on a farm stand?
That's a good one.
Because that's how I got here.
That's a good one.
He did his guest service last year by showing.
So that's,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
But you're not on the roster for this committee?
no,
We'll
there,
get
that was an error, but Dante just fixed that.
That's
so
right,
I will
Dante
work it out.
updated it.
Yes.
Okay. Good. And then for those of you that got my note in advance of this meeting yesterday, I think is when Dante circulated it, that something about my background, living on Maple Street for almost 40 years now. And professionally, I'm in the waste and recycling business. Helped launch the city's recycling program back in '89, built a consulting practice. Following on that, worked around a bunch of issues in in that sector locally, nationally, fair amount in Canada as well. So I have a lot of fun with it, but it's my daily diet of stuff to read about, think about, talk about, go to conferences about, whatever else. But it's not just for me, the solid waste side. I spent a lot of time on the liquid waste side as well. So I know we had DEP here as a guest last year. Their new borough commissioner joined us, so that the environmental protection issues cover at least those two categories of solid waste and liquid waste, and a variety of other things. So, and I'm glad to be a source on environmental stories for emerging reporters.
Yeah, thank you.
So, good. So we're hoping that Bishop would be with us tonight because you have a nice tradition that you started of having her
Words of
give
encouragement.
us words of encouragement for how we conduct ourselves in this business. Everything on your mind tonight you want to substitute for her, and not to put you on the spot, but things you've been thinking about, environmentally or otherwise?
Not as yet,
State of world
because I'm
affairs.
still in the intern mode
Yeah.
at the office,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to get out of that right now.
Okay.
But I'm sure that I'll come up with something at some point.
I guess the one thing I would say is that, I again, think about these issues on a broad policy basis, but I'm also aware particularly from our discussions last year, how hyper-local lots of these issues are. What's happening on my street, what's happening with pickup organics, what's happening with shifting containers, what's happening with keeping streets cleaned, swept, storm drains cleaned, all that sort of stuff. We've spent a fair amount of time talking about last year, so we'll find the right balance in our discussions for things that are sort of district-wide, city-wide, whatever else, but also hyper-local at the local level. So we don't come to this meeting or this committee with a set agenda. We've been doing a lot of information sharing and bringing in guest speakers to talk about DEP. We had a guest speaker from Paint Care at one of our meetings to talk about the new paint recycling system that is being rolled out in the state. And we can continue to do those kinds of speakers and topics along the way. But it will also be informed by what you want to talk about, learn about, bitch about. Looking at you, Eric.
I
Ready to
think I would just throw out that, maybe we want to focus on the fall season and see where the things that we need to focus on to make sure that those things are in place. So when that, it comes, at least we know we reached out to those agencies that, like, I know that some of the drains are backed up. Because the rain downfall that we had a few weeks ago, I mean, there were ponding everywhere, so. And I think people need to focus on picking up their leaves on the, because the sweepers are gonna hit. And I see people literally sweeping it in the streets. So most of the time, what I do is I pick up a garbage bag, and I go and I sweep up and pick it up. So I think, that will be good.
Okay.
So that's my thoughts.
We talked a little bit about there's some effort elsewhere to do adopt a drain
Yeah.
programs
Oh.
in some neighborhoods to sort of really make that more
Yes.
visible and get more attention. I know you talked about the thousands of man hours you spend cleaning your
The
corner.
last storm I
Your
was
corner, yeah.
out there again.
Yeah.
Me.
Where were you
I was out there with you.
at? Oh, you put the umbrella. I was already in the water, like, and then he comes with the umbrella.
comes
You
with the
are, I'm
umbrella,
like,
right?
oh
Too
my
late
god.
now, yeah.
Too late.
Yeah.
But as far as that program, you said, adopt a sewer,
Yeah,
right?
adopt a drain.
I mean, there's 2 New York City departments that are responsible for cleaning these sewer grates. It's the DEP and the Department of Sanitation.
Mhm.
So why should they be droning on us? Between those two, you mean to tell me they can't keep those corners clean? So I'm proposing, and I'd like to propose to, that we go back a little bit. Mr. Herbert likes to go back in time a little bit. Because he says a lot of the policies that we had back in the days weren't good, and, little by little, as it seems like no offense to the young generation, but as the young generation came in, a lot of these things just slipped away.
Yeah, falls into
For
place.
instance, the garbage man used to come by, do his pickup, and as he passed that sewer grate on the corner, he would take his shovel off his truck
Mhm.
and his broom and clean that sewer grate, throw it back on, and continue his route.
Mhm.
We need to somehow make them enforce that again, because that was a policy back in the day. And a lot of our flooding, 50% is the piping, and 50% is that the garbage is washing down, and these grates are just not being cleaned.
Right.
And if you don't have somebody like me that's standing on the porch, as soon as the storm comes, that corner's gonna be in trouble. So we need to just ask them whatever happened to that policy of when you drive by that grading, just take off. It takes you 5 minutes to just sweep that
I don't know,
sewer
it's something
grate.
we've talked about bringing in the district superintendent from DSNY to talk about a range of issues, collection, and street cleaning, all that sort of stuff, so we can add that to the list.
Yeah, because it's probably routines that fall to the wayside, like maybe someone knew about it, but there's no training on it, so it's forgotten.
You know what, my
Okay,
time
but
at
this
sanitation,
program-
35 years ago, I'm not aware that that was a standard practice.
Are you aware of
So it might have been
that?
adopted.
Was that standard
But,
practice?
but Eric, do you remember sanitation
They
commissioner?
did do it.
You remember sanitation commissioner in the Koch years back in the 80s named Norman Steisel?
Faintly.
Norman Steisel. So I'm in still regular contact with Norman. Let me ask Norman for his historical
If it
memory.
ever was a policy.
But I think he's
Yeah.
correct,
Yes.
because I remember them sweeping with those big brooms,
Mhm.
you know, like the
So
corners
it had
and.
to have been
Yeah,
enforced somewhere, there had to have been something.
But I
that
don't know
had
what
to be
happens.
done.
Yeah, now they just pick up the garbage and
Yeah.
keep on going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that would be like very helpful, don't you
So-
think? I mean,
So we got
everyone-
that in our agenda, so we'll follow up on that. Can I ask how things are going with the shift to containers and the shift to collecting organics?
I was curious about that too, because I saw there was this big hurrah about, organics happening, but I live in a very big apartment building and there's no place really for us. We just have our garbage at the end of the fairly successfully. Was it paused? Because I didn't see any updates in my building.
How big is
So-
your building?
It's about 136 units, so it's pretty big.
How many floors?
And how many floors?
6 floors on each side. So I was just kind of nosy about it because I personally just like composting.
So it was launched earlier this year.
I saw that, yeah, and I was like,
There
oh,
was
how
an
exciting.
enforcement period that began and was suspended. And the
Oh, okay.
enforcement won't begin again probably till January at the earliest.
That's what I assumed.
So it's still
Processing.
on a sort of a case-by-case voluntary basis
I
for
get it.
compliance.
Okay.
But buildings are gradually figuring out whether they're doing it or not.
How they're doing it, yeah.
But the penalties for not doing it won't start again until we have a new mayor and they decide how they're going to deal
That's
with it.
fair.
So what I've noticed in my building, and I live in a similar sized building, I have an amazing super. Though,
Amazing
like my
super.
landlord
Mine
sucks, my
is-
super's
supers
amazing.
are always the best,
But,
yeah. Always.
We got the combos, but we live in a similar size. We have 2 tiny bins for the entire building. And there were a couple weeks that the bins magically disappeared. And then I saw my super and he said, no, well, they're just sitting out there because he moved them around to the corner to be ready to pick up. But then pickup
To
wasn't
show
happening.
compliance. Oh,
Wow.
no, and
And
that's
so
not
he,
good.
like, they were overflowing, but there was no pickup for them, so like, that's why he moved them. But I also just observed, because I talked to my super, more of my porter like guy than the super, because he's always there mopping. I think a big part of it is no one, like, we don't have like a lot of signs, we don't have a lot of
I don't,
education
yeah, I don't
in
even know
my
what to
building.
do. Like,
I'm
I would
still
help
talking.
with it.
One second, in my building, the residents don't know what to do, because I watch my super dig through the trash, because our building will be fine if the trash man, they said their trash man's been randomly poking the garbage bags, and so they find glass. So now it's gone onto the super that he's digging in our trash for the whole building, because my neighbors don't recycle.
So does
And
your
nobody's
building
really
have,
telling the neighbors to
does your
recycle.
building have basic recycling containers?
Yeah, we do, and they're really well marked. That's why I said my
Okay.
super's great.
Okay,
And he's the one that's digging in our trash to find all the recycling, so then he goes and puts it in there. So that means it's not getting rinsed.
that's
But,
okay.
yes.
That's
Oh,
understandable.
I thought.
See, the thing is, if you lose that, super.
If we lose that super, then it's all gone.
It's
And
all
but, and
gone.
this poor man that was doing this for,
Is-
and
is
he
he
has
looking
3
for-
buildings.
Is he looking for the redeemables in it, because?
No, he's not looking
Okay.
for the redeemables, cause he's putting it in the recycling, but he's saying, like, apparently our building got fined because my neighbors don't recycle all the time.
Right,
And some random inspector
Yeah.
stabbed through our trash bag
yeah.
and found a glass bottle. And so now he's paranoid.
Okay.
Yeah, like
So-
I
Well,
mentioned it to neighbors.
That's one of the ways they get the message, is
Yeah.
when there's enforcement, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't seem to fall on neighbors as much as, like, and so in buildings where if the super doesn't give an F, like,
Yeah.
then that's not happening.
Well, that is one issue we've been talking about around the whole containerization campaign, is that there hasn't been enough education around what exactly you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to do it. Which, we've been asking sanitation to come to the board and present. I'm not sure, did they ever come out? And I know we invited them to the committee, but they weren't able to come one day, and then something else happened.
we had that, gentleman from
But I also will point out,
DSNY, but he came to
Yeah.
talk about the containerization.
Right.
Yeah.
the other
It needs to be
factor that I've noticed,
clarified.
even, though this is why the
Go ahead.
rando at the farmer's market said you should be on the board, is all of the signs that we do, like the few signs we do have, and the signs at the farmer's market, they're in Spanish. We're a largely Haitian community, why aren't our signs in French? Because I know like some of my neighbors don't speak English that great, they speak Creole, and they're not understanding the Spanish signs that are up. Why aren't we getting French signs for Crown Heights?
Well, sanitation makes signs in a variety of languages.
So then we should
Um,
be getting the French ones.
So, and buildings can request whatever they think is, most
Right.
appropriate for them,
So, but my super who speaks Spanish probably doesn't care, but the
Yeah.
majority of my neighbors speak
Right.
French.
And that's a super who should.
We double check, they have one in Haitian Redwood, bet that they do, because they probably have 6 or 8 different,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, that was the whole evolution of the
And in some cases, I mean, for me, on my block, I make up signs. I'll go on Department of Sanitation website and see what's there, and, make them up, or, cut and paste, and I,
Sanitation
have,
website is pretty good at having
yeah,
both templates for stuff, but also you can order.
Yeah,
yeah,
The-
because
I
I
think
did,
someone has
the
to
signs that you
ask,
want.
because I think the default is to always supply in English and Spanish, but they're not acknowledging New York as a very international
yeah,
community.
Right.
yeah, I agree with that one.
I'm with the recycling program. I'm 100% compliant with that. I do not believe in this compost thing at all. Because first of all, they only pick up once a week.
Right.
The summer, we had a pretty much hot summer. So that's sitting in your garbage can once a week. So every time you open that, regardless if it's sealed or not, you open it, you get a fume
Yeah.
that's full of bacteria. Number 2, after they pick it up, they ride around in the whole neighborhood until the route
smell.
is finished
Oh, no.
with the rotting
That's loud. That's
food
true.
inside the truck.
It's pretty bad.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, if you're gonna do the compost, let's pick up at least twice a week.
Yeah.
Once a week is not enough. Once a week is Tuesday, every Tuesday. So that's 7 days this garbage is sitting inside.
It should be more often.
Yeah, because could you imagine what the garbage man has to smell when he's standing behind that truck? It's a health hazard for the
for one-
sanitation department, and it's a health hazard for the neighborhood that he's riding around with this garbage,
Yeah.
garbage in the truck the whole.
Well, for one thing, I
Wow.
think those programs are rolled out, and they, people were not informed as well as they should have.
Yeah. No,
I don't
definitely
think
not.
that they had enough answers for some of the questions that people have, so, you know.
That's why they
there's
postpone
still-
it, let's hope it's because of that, because, I mean, I think it's a health risk for the
Because they
Department of
probably got a lot of
Sanitation and the
complaints.
people. And the people, because they're riding around the neighborhood, that stuff is dripping all in the street,
Yeah.
and we already know what that is, it's disgusting. So it's a health hazard,
Yeah.
in my opinion, also.
Okay.
So it needs to be better managed.
Are
Yeah.
anybody here participating regularly in the organic diversion effort?
No,
I
I did it
do.
independently, kind of when I was in another area, and I would take my compost somewhere, but unfortunately, that's not
Oh,
happening
I
anymore.
compost.
I was like going to those
I
bins.
still do it,
I
but,
go to parks, I freeze that shit, I'm all over it.
Yeah, I freeze
I freeze mine. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna say, like,
Yeah.
there's also, not everybody,
That's too much,
my partner's always complaining, he's like, I don't know if it's garbage in the freezer or if it's food. But,
exactly.
Well,
like,
but you-
maybe,
I mean, you have
I
it
put
in
it
a
in a
plastic,
bag, I put
yeah,
it in the green compostable bag,
Yeah.
and it's like frozen until it's ready.
That's too
to
much.
go out.
But that was before I got it in my building. Cause now I have it in my I still only take it out a couple times a week and I keep my compost either in the freezer or the refrigerator until it's ready to go out. And I try to do that close to when it gets picked up. But I also used to go to those bins, but I don't think, are all the bins still here? You know the little bins you needed the app to open?
The orange bits,
Yeah.
they're still around,
Okay.
they haven't
But
taken
they're,
them
yeah, but they didn't really put them south of Eastern Parkway.
no.
They, yeah, so they
Correct.
probably need to install some more of
South
those.
of Eastern
No, they're
Parkway.
still out there, they may have picked up ones that were damaged or whatever, but that's still, they haven't, pulled those out the street.
God, because maybe that's another solution, is like, at
Yeah.
least it's away from the building, like you're saying, it's on a corner, and if it's a bigger, like, situation where it's not like lumped in with the garbage,
Uh-huh.
and it's closed, because our compost bins are very, like, they don't close.
No, they don't close.
Like, also, like,
properly.
half the people don't even wanna, like, separate their garbage, you think they're gonna turn that little lock for a huge ass building, like,
So how many times do they pick up the compost at your building? Or
once a week.
So
Man, that's a
the
change.
issue of collection frequency is,
It's an issue. I mean,
Challenge,
I
been
do
around
it,
for a long
but that
time,
is
yeah,
an
yeah.
issue. That is an issue.
But it's
Yeah.
just, I don't know, it's not that different than people throwing out garbage in the trash, like, it's not like it's.
No,
suddenly
but that gets
didn't
picked up
exist.
twice a week. 3
Oh.
times a week.
Three times a
Three
week.
times a
Three
week.
I
times
was
a
about to
week.
say, I hear my
That's
guy
the
on
difference.
my floor, yeah.
Yeah.
For us, it's
Done.
Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays.
I've trained myself to sleep through the garbage bin.
Oh.
When I first moved here, I used to hear it.
Three days a week, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so
So
how many
compost can
people
only
still
be
think
once
that
a week.
compost is a good idea?
Well,
mean,
I think
I do.
what it is that
you just need to pick
education
up.
has to be done. I think having the Department of Sanitation come in, give a presentation, ask them the questions, give them feedback. I think that can start the cycle of improvements
And better bins.
and better bins, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all feedback. You just
Also
need-
not
you need to
putting-
hear from
But
us.
they need to be aware,
The
exactly.
bins for large apartment
pretty sure
buildings
they're
need
aware.
to not be this
They
big.
know, they need the larger ones,
Yeah.
but they do have them online
Right.
Oh,
that
it's
you
just-
can
It's up to the
buy
apartment
them,
building.
Oh, I'll tell my
purchase
neighbor.
them.
Or I'll buy.
For
Oh,
a
yeah.
for a homeowner. Rather than
That's
using
all.
it
It's
for
an
a-
apartment building,
Yeah, but if they have them
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
and they wanna
It's up to the
add to
department.
what they have,
so it's something we need to
Yeah.
talk to our landlord.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what supers are figuring out, is how to sort of right size the
Yeah.
containers
Yeah,
for
for the
what
building.
people are actually.
And I think they're like figuring out who
Yeah.
actually does it.
Yeah. The data
That's
so
the
far
hard part.
suggests that participation is relatively low, citywide, as you would imagine.
Yeah.
And hasn't changed much over the last 4 or 5 months.
But it would be so cool to see, because like when I was living in Berlin, just their system of bins and like their strictness on it was so particular, but it paid off. Like I got into the habit, and now I'm living and I'm like, oh gosh, I'm not separating like I should, so I feel like I'm doing
What
something
were you
wrong.
separating in Berlin?
So they had plastic, glass, garbage, there was compost in some buildings, and then certain bottles you could actually leave out, and then there were different people in the community that picked up the bottles and would trade them in for money, so they had this just
Well, that happens
insane.
here.
That happens here as well.
Yeah, so I loved it, I loved to see that, so,
Yeah.
but like I said, I live in a building where the landlord is not as, like, active in wanting to do these types of things, so I'm going to be someone in my building to try to do this, and that's why I was very
So that's a culture
curious.
difference between
Yeah.
Berlin and here.
Yeah, and hopefully we can adopt
Well,
something
it's,
like
it
that,
is a little bit culture and European, but we do pretty much the same separation here.
Yeah,
And
it's
the
like-
redeemables are generally kept separate from
That's
or
what I
put
wanna
up by
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Once the
canners on the street.
grocery
with
store
the
went away,
bags.
we
And that's what I'm
lost
hoping to
some of
see.
those redeemable.
Pardon me?
When we lost that grocery store,
Yeah.
Associated.
Oh,
we lost the
Associated,
Oh,
grocery
yeah,
yeah.
I'm so sad
Yeah.
to see that go, yeah.
thing, and that changed
Yeah,
a
they
lot
had a
too,
system
'cause now
there.
they have to go further.
Yeah,
So like certain blocks.
Thank
it's like
God they
easier.
have that, because you know how much glass and bottles would be in the street if they didn't have that?
Yeah, but the place,
Yeah.
I've noticed more since the Associated went away. Cause
Yeah.
I live on Crown.
because, right, they were right there.
And 5 cents, they walk miles.
Now they have
for
to
that
go
5
to
cent,
Western Beef or the beer and liquor place.
Yeah, and they're gonna be picking up at PLG, plus you got the big beer depot that they're probably finding more there, so it's not like,
Right.
cause it's actually kind of nice to think about a redeemable, like, people are getting paid to keep the streets clean in a way. But when the Associated went, like, this part of Crown Heights got a lot dirtier.
Yeah.
Mm. Good observation.
Well, I would tell you that my secret with respect to food waste, this is not an advertisement, but 1997, the city legalized in-sink food waste disposers, garbage disposals. They were legal in the newer parts of the city, not in the older parts of the city, and the city made them
You
legal.
talking about the one in the state?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the city made them legal citywide in 97.
Uh-huh.
So since then, we use ours for literally 100% of our food waste.
Yeah.
And I have not put any food
Well, I
waste.
grew up in Texas where you actually had them all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
so we've not put any food waste in our trash for almost 30 years.
But I work in a lot of like new construction condo buildings, they don't even put them in there.
Uh-huh.
It's
So-
rare. I lived in a condo in Soho that had one,
Yeah.
and it was like when I rented out, because it was an investment property, like, people would be so surprised that I had a garbage disposal
Right.
in New York City.
Right.
It's houses that have them, not apartments.
They were not made mandatory in New York, they became legal. The city stopped short of making them.
It would be interesting if
Are
we
they
could do
expensive?
construction.
But do people know that? That's
Pardon?
how did that get out to the public? That it's legal?
It's legal.
The only time I knew about, when you mentioned it last session,
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was legal.
Because you were thinking they were still illegal?
It didn't come to mind. I mean, I'm in Georgia, right? So I have, I suppose in Georgia, I use it religiously.
Back in America, we use them.
So now, in New York, I didn't know that until we had the discussion last week. So
Yeah.
the thing is, you know, I didn't know, so how does everybody else find out? Because I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Right.
Is it?
Because and I work with a lot of construction, and I just assumed that like buildings of like 4 or more people weren't allowed to have them because it must be some sort of like problem.
But you know what, I'm going to,
I'm gonna
I'm
get
going
it
to
up to
buy one
developers, too.
tomorrow.
In South Florida, Kate? You grew up in one?
Yeah, those houses have.
You gotta purchase one.
Yeah, but
I used
I'm
to
a
live in
purchase
Windward.
one.
Oh,
Lowe's
no way.
facility,
Yeah, it's a
Lowe's.
great area.
I'll put it in tomorrow.
So
There's a little piping it for me.
But Emmett Steel was not, I mean, they never recycled. So I wonder if that's still the case. I don't know
Really?
what was, yeah, remember
I
it
worked
came up
in there.
at one of our meetings.
Something else I did.
They,
Okay.
I-
Well, again, in the interest of,
Judgmental?
in the interest of full
Very,
disclosure,
I worked in there.
I've had a consulting arrangement with InSinkErator for 28 years. And currently work with them primarily in Canada, not in the US, but I work with cities all over the US on this issue. Got Philly to adopt a code requirement about 2016, I think. My current work is actually focused on the city of Vancouver.
Huh?
So that's for my clients' interest there. That's a much longer story I'm not going to belabor you with, but I've been talking to cities about this issue for a very long time and helping them understand how disposers are part of the toolkit. When you want to get food waste out of the trash, make it easy. If food is mostly liquid, it's not solid.
yeah,
Where does that go?
The city has 14 water resource recovery facilities.
Uh-huh.
Used to be called sewage treatment plants or whatever else that are morphed into big resource recovery. It goes through one of those 14. So from here, at least from my house on Maple Street, it goes to the Owl's Head plant in Bay Ridge. And I think that's true probably anything that's south of Eastern Parkway,
Right.
because it flows downhill. So, and they turn it into clean water, which is most of what you send to them is water. And they make some biogas out of the organics in it, and they make some fertilizer out of what's left. So that's the compost story, the alternative to thinking that it's a solid that has to be collected in
Taking
a truck.
somewhere, yeah.
And then taken, and it may very well end up back in that same system because DEP, at least at the Newtown Creek plant in Greenpoint, will take slurry food waste by truck and feed it into their digesters. So, again, we have DEP back to talk about that system, we can have
I
DSNY
would
here to
think
talk
so,
about
yeah.
a whole bunch of things, but.
There are some of that.
But the answer to your question is why the public doesn't know is because I didn't do a very good job the last 25 years.
Well, I think we've kind of established already, like, education is a problem.
Right.
Yeah. No, in fact, I had a long conversation with Councilmember Gail Brewer yesterday. For those of you who remember Gail.
Oh,
she
really?
was on the
When did
West
you
Side.
meet up with her?
My phone, but I've known her for 45 years.
Oh.
You know, in her various capacities.
Yeah.
Been for president, you know, she's in her second tour of duty on the council. And all that.
Yes.
But, so she's been around this rodeo a few times and remembers the discussions in the 90s about can we allow disposers to be legal citywide, and would that be you know, a beneficial tool to take advantage of? So anyway, on the containerization thing, what's the experience with are we seeing people using containers, not using them?
Oh, on my block
getting
they use
fined?
them.
Everybody on the block
Yeah.
uses them. Yeah, on our block they use them.
Yeah.
Everybody's containerized.
Yeah, some people have all four.
Uh-huh.
Some people have two, the blue and the brown, the black and the brown. So it varies, yeah. But everybody on my block uses
What's your
them.
experience with seeing the containers then sort of left on the sidewalk, or the people pulling them back?
Well,
Some
when-
of them
As
sit up
I'm
for the whole
going
day.
along, once I'm leaving the house, I pull, if it's already picked up,
Uh-huh.
I pull in my neighbor's cans.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether I'm going or coming.
Yeah.
But sometimes they don't pick it up early,
Right,
so yeah.
yeah,
And most people would come out and pick up.
yeah.
But usually
We don't.
sanitation would pull them to the step.
Really?
Yeah, on my block.
They never do that on our block.
Well, I don't know who's picking up your block. But, yeah.
Sounds like your guys would also bring out that mop and like,
And the shovel and the
Yeah.
broom and get the corner for us.
hey, can you get them to come over?
It's the cookies you leave out for them or something. like
Back
that.
to education and also with the compost though too, I did notice when we had the NYC Grow compost bins on Fridays next to the farm stand, right over here, when it translated into days where people got the mulch, it made people excited about the compost, cause
They get back.
they got something
Compost get
back.
Yeah.
Because I even remember at one point some guy like giving the compost guy a hard time. He's like, "Well, am I going to get any of this compost?" And then we had the day, and there was a line of people that wanted the mulch.
Right. Where's the farmer's market that you frequent?
Crown and Nostrand, right on this corner, right over here.
Oh, okay.
It's where the rando was.
Yeah.
He just hangs out.
You're on a same basis with him?
His name is
This
Rando.
Rando man.
Random.
Well,
Still working for something?
I am, yes, I am. She's actually starting to take a little bit of an interest in the composting thing because she's very big with the community gardens. We found that it's very effective to ensure that the community gardens are doing composting because it's the community gardens who are doing a lot of the education around
Right.
composting, not DSNY or the city, it's really them. So we provide them with the resources to do that and connect them with the city agencies. That's how we're getting a lot of the education done, not really through any effort on DSNY's part alone.
The city has an amazing network of community gardens.
and they're eliminating them one by one.
But you know what's nice too is because I'm with Crown Heights Mutual Aid. Like I noticed you get a lot more even attention to community gardens when Mutual Aid has like a barbecue and then people are coming because they don't really like. I mean, personally, I always sign up to do that gardening committee and I don't do it. Like, but when they have barbecue, I go. But and then it's like it draws attention to the fact that there is a community garden. So like that's something maybe they might want to think about in terms of like making it a valuable like.
Yeah, I don't
Make
know
the community
whether the Parks
understand
Committee of the
benefit.
board spends any time thinking about community
that's a
gardens
good
or not.
idea.
I don't know if the Parks Committee of the board spends any time thinking about community gardens.
I don't know, I think Nicholas would be able to
Um,
give us some more information on that.
Bette Midler loves herself a community garden.
Yeah?
Yeah, she had a whole campaign about it.
Wow.
She was like a big activist for community gardens
Yeah.
like 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them are really beautifully kept.
What other topics of concern?
I have
interest?
one.
Is there an illegal dumping issue anywhere in the district that we know of?
Ooh.
Still?
Yeah, still, I've been working with Department of Sanitation, I have the supervisor's number, and we speak regularly. It's just an ongoing concern that's happening. A lot of the handymen and guys that do jobs, they take construction debris, they leave it all around Boys Highfield Park, all right, the field. Rutland Road is the primary location where they're always dumping. And along Troy Avenue, right, the intersection of Troy and Midwood. So I did,
And has sanitation done any effective enforcement along there? They put any cameras out? They,
see, that's what I advised them, a good idea would be to work with the Department of Education, right, to put cameras on Boys High Field, so they can, but it's gone on deaf ears. So that's something that they should work on that in order to have it done, because this happens at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. I did catch one guy who was dumping wood right on the corner of Troy and Rutland, and I gave it to the police department, and ultimately he was fined and had to go to court and everything such as that. But that's a one-off,
That they
Yeah,
actually are able
yeah.
to
because I was
enforce
there.
through-
Right.
All
Yeah.
If I wasn't there,
I know it was a priority of Commissioner Tisch when she was at sanitation.
Yes,
And,
I heard.
and adding cameras and doing a lot of enforcement stuff. But I'll have to check with Dante to see, and we'll talk to the district super about if there are other hotspots in the district that.
oh, but I can give you 6. I can give you 6 of them. And I
All in
feel
your, all
once
in
it-
your corner.
all down in this most southeastern part of
Yeah.
the district. That's where a lot of it
Yeah.
happens, because it's isolated. You don't have Prospect Park.
You
Right.
probably used to
Around
have it
there, a
along
lot of
Franklin
people.
Avenue, but that's all being,
Oh, that's
filled
all
up
been-
now.
yeah, it's filled
So
up.
There's no empty lots there anymore, so.
But that's happening down there. Yeah,
I actually spoke to the superintendent of the park today, and he was complaining about when he picks up certain items, there's nowhere to put it because the sanitation, despite the chronic issue that is going on there, are policing the garbage. Like if somebody comes there and puts a bag of bricks or a bag of tiles,
Right.
they're policing it and they won't pick it up. He told me, he said, I want them to put something on the corner because I can at least put the garbage there and they'll be responsible for it. But once I drag it to where I put my garbage, they're policing it and they end up leaving it there and not picking it up.
What do you mean by policing it?
You're talking about your corner?
Too heavy, no, the park.
Park, okay.
Too heavy, like, somebody dumped a bag of cement on the side of my house.
Right,
And it had hardened,
right.
and I
Yeah.
tried to put it out my garbage, and I still have the thing in my yard because they won't pick that up.
Yeah.
And it was dumped there.
Did you ask him how you can get rid
I
of it?
didn't have a chance to ask them
Okay,
yet.
well, that's what I was-
The solution, I know what they're gonna tell me. I'll break it up. They're gonna throw it back on me and tell me to go out there with a sledgehammer and start
Yeah, but
breaking it up in
if
pieces.
you didn't put it out there and you're trying
Exactly,
to get rid of it, that's
exactly.
a different story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's I have a similar issue. They request that you break it up. So I just broke it up just to get rid of it.
Even though, yeah, it's less something we have to do
They keep
sometimes.
yeah, but I
But
just-
the dumping is a chronic issue that is going. I mean, I've submitted it. in excess of 100 tickets
Mm.
for this issue.
So that's 200, because I put in 100.
Yeah.
So.
And how do we
It's-
get, like, how do we monitor, or how do we become aware of these issues? Is it us bringing it in? Do we have 311 reports that we kind of monitor? How do we know about the various
So if
environmental?
we
Well, the
have,
staff here has access to 311 reports and,
Okay.
and follow-ups.
Because I'd like to see that
So we
data,
can-
that'd be interesting.
Yeah, we can,
Or
I don't
is it-
think we see it on a,
Spreadsheet.
frequent basis, but, we can start asking for it. And again, if we're gonna bring in the district super to go through a list of 10 things,
Yeah, see what the
to talk
top,
about that.
complaints
You know,
are,
but we
reoccurring ones.
we bring these guys here, they bring this corporate guy, and he comes in here with his shoes and shirt on. We don't even want him here.
Telling us.
We want the guy that's in the street, the
Yes.
supervisor that's working, the guy that sees it every day. Not the guy that's going by the paper and, well, it's supposed to be like this, which is my next issue.
I'm not
which
sure
y'all
who you're
gotta
referring
know.
to,
Well, we
but
got,
we're talking about bringing in the district super, right?
this superintendent of DK9.
He doesn't want the mafia don, he wants
Yeah.
his
Exactly. I want somebody that sees and knows. Are you familiar with the park over here? That guy that you're
Yeah.
talking about is not going to be familiar with that.
because he's never seen it.
He's never seen
I
it.
don't,
So-
I don't necessarily agree with you on that. The district
Well,
supervisors-
sometimes, but a
district
lot of the
supervisors
times
generally,
they
know
have
their
them.
ranks, they know their districts, they
Not-
know where the hotspots are, they know
I
what the
mean,
service
it's
issues
all
are.
on paper. They go through their
yeah,
paper.
but see what the district superintendent, he's going to get the word out from the top down.
Right.
If they bring the
Right.
guys that you're asking,
But
it's
we
just
will
gonna be
not get
there.
They're
answers.
always- yeah,
So
yeah.
my point
Yeah.
is, we will not get answers. You know, because you go, all right, I'll bring that to the thing. Whatever, we had one of them here, and
We need
he
a
was supposed to
mix.
get answers. You know.
So why don't we try it? Why don't we invite the district super here, okay?
Oh, that's better than
And
nothing.
then what happens, we can turn around and let him know of the chronic issues that are going on.
And
I mean,
tell him,
yeah,
make sure that he wears a shirt and shoes that Eric likes.
That's your right.
And maybe let him bring the supervisor with him. Like,
Until a year
two
ago,
of
we
them.
had a 3-star sanitation chief, literally across the street from me on Maple,
Oh, wow.
passed away, so.
Oh.
Rest in peace.
all right, I got
Okay,
another
what else?
issue.
Any other,
I have a
issues of environmental concern that you want to, put on our, agenda for this?
Yes, go ahead.
the street sweeper.
Yes, no, today was bad. I have to admit.
The street sweeper. So I brought this up to the board. They wanted the video. I don't want to become an enemy of the Department of Sanitation. Because then they will start poking my bag and see if there's a bottle in it. You know what I mean?
Where do you live? That's.
So this street sweeper literally comes by, no water.
Uh-huh.
The dust cloud. I mean, I have a video. I could actually go ask him if you could put it on that TV. I have a video. This cloud, you have to literally run for cover.
Oh, no.
If you just wash the car and it's in the driveway, in your driveway, it's not protected. If you have your window open on a nice cool day,
You're assaulting.
your house is not protected. If you're sitting in your car and he drives by, you're not protected. And then we're worrying about the air quality.
Goodness.
There's your air quality right there. This guy's riding around spreading the dust. Roy,
That's not
what
good.
do
I'm
we see
laughing.
today, Roy?
I agree.
So in Eric's defense,
I agree, I'm laughing, but I know that
And
it's
there's
not
a voice.
horrible.
So Kate, when I said these issues are hyper-local,
Eric, he's correct.
It sounds like
He's
a
correct.
driving menace, like, oh my
Well,
god.
and I have to say this, I've looked at the street sweepers in at different areas and
Yeah.
different parts. And I've noticed that when the street sweeper is around Lincoln Terrace Park on Eastern Parkway in Buffalo and Rochester, he's going at a different speed, rate of speed, and he's using a lot of water. When he comes and does the neighborhood, this guy, I mean, he's coming at about what, like 30 miles an hour. I mean, this guy's
Sure.
flying. So even if he did have water within the unit, it's not gonna work because his speed is just too
Yeah.
fast. And I know that.
But it would
year
help with
before,
the dust. It would help
Today,
with the dust.
at the speed it was going today, I challenged
I
it.
don't
We
know.
need to.
But what
That's
happened
it.
was that, what's my train of thought?
Well,
Yeah,
so
let me just go real
so
fast.
think about how are they trained and how are they supervised, right?
Yeah.
So.
Correct.
That's
And
another
maybe
thing,
monitoring
like,
their pace, cause yeah, there should be.
they stop
Oh.
putting water in
Yeah.
the machines,
What
they
was
stop putting water in the
So
machines.
again, I've been here a long time, right? So years ago, alternate side used to be extended longer. It took me like 2 hours or something like that, a little more, something to that effect.
I don't know.
So now it's only like an hour and a half. So that condenses their time frame when they have to get around and clean all the
Yeah.
streets. And I remember having a conversation with one of the superintendents a couple of years ago, and he cited that that was the concern. They have to make sure they get in the street. Now, I don't know, I never followed up, that was years ago. That could be an issue, but that's what I know.
Well, I know
The
we
truck
talked about
has
a lot less
the
here.
truck
We'll
has
add
a
it to the
GPS
list.
on it. I was
Yeah.
told by the supervisor, it
That is
has a
correct.
GPS on it.
Right.
And they're looking at
Oh,
that
so they're being
GPS to see if
monitored.
they're being
Yeah.
monitored. So that's, you know, allowing them to, if one car is there and there's enough space for him to take that second to dibble in and try to get in between the cars that are maybe like 5 cars apart or something, there's enough space for him to actually come in. He won't do that. He'll just be right on by and, you know.
But that's what, today was bad. Today was bad.
But I guess
Well,
that
it's-
maybe
it's up drive as
usually there's a sanitation supervisor driving
well.
in a vehicle at times, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But I don't know if that happens anymore.
Very
Because I mean,
rarely.
there should be tickets in these vehicles that are
Cars and making it
on
harder.
those days and
They
making
should be
it more
tagging
difficult.
the cars with no plates. There's
Enforcement.
2 tags. There's a tag, the yellow tag is for sanitation to pick up the vehicle. And I think there's a green tag where now it's been referred to the police department, depending on the condition of the car.
And maybe how many violations or something like that. That's the
Basically, if it looks abandoned, then the sanitation will, you know, put their yellow sticker on it. But if it's just violating without plates, then it should be tagged and referred to the police department to do a follow-up. This is just, I'll just make this
But
clear.
that's not the issue. The issue here, when they tag the vehicles for disposal that do not have plates or fake plate or whatever the case may be,
There's no
if
response.
if this was Eric's car on the street and didn't have plates, if they come and tag it, he'll come and say, hey, that's
Wipe
my
it
car.
off.
No, he'll say, that's my car. So
Oh.
he has officially claimed the vehicle,
Yeah,
right? And then sanitation goes away and the car stays there.
stays right.
So we've had that problem.
Ongoing problem.
Ongoing. So we've had that problem with a number of commercial vehicles. Right, so now they're gone because I've got in touch with one of the police sergeants, right? So they go, now they're starting to come back. We have 2
Yeah.
trailers now that have.
Well, you
have to
saw
go.
that today,
Yeah, I saw that
right?
today. I'm taking care of that today.
So,
But that's one of the things. If they claim the vehicles,
Yeah.
then
They leave it,
Yeah.
yeah.
And there needs to be maybe enforcement, yeah, they claim it, but how long is
I've
it sitting there?
been complaining about this one car. It was parked into in front of a New York City resident. So it didn't block my side, so I kind of like just worked with it. You know, as long as I can get my people move their car, whatever I can't get to with the broom, that, you know, the street people could get to it. This car has been there, so it goes back and forth from sanitation to police. One day, I put in a police report because he had some fake tags on it, right? So I took the picture of it and I sent it to him. And I have a way of wording my complaints, but I try not to leave too much information. So it turned out when the police officers responded, I'm in my bedroom and I was right there. The cops come up and they looking at the car and here comes the owner now. Oh, it's not abandoned. Oh, well, somebody said this car has been here for 2 years. Next thing you know, he's yelling at my house. It's that light-skinned MF on the corner,
God.
right? And he happens to be like one of the drug dealers down the block. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they put me in jeopardy.
Yeah.
So now he identified who it was me. So I haven't complained with the car because I know if I complain again and I actually manage to get it removed, that I might end up having a problem. Like I'll come outside, my cars are damaged,
Yeah. They
know
or my
who you
house,
are.
with the retaliation. You know, like my
Right.
wife's outside. I don't know what they might do to her. She's in the garden or
Yeah.
cleaning up. So there's got to be a way, like. Can we find out when the police department is going to do a tow operation? Because I see all the other precincts, right? I see all the other precincts on, because I'm a big Facebook fan, and I keep contact with all that, and I see all other precincts. Oh, today we told, or today we told. But 71st precinct, they tell me they don't have any tow trucks.
Eric, are you on Nextdoor?
Huh?
Are you on Nextdoor?
What do you mean? No.
Because if
It's
you
a-
read the drama of
Yeah.
the ghost cars,
And
soap
PLG
opera on
and all
Nextdoor,
those,
oh
yeah.
my god, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
they,
understand
I
that.
actually jeopardized my family's safety
Well, these aren't
for
ghost
that.
cars, these are derelict vehicles,
Okay.
of various
Uh-oh.
types,
But I
ghost
heard-
cars
I
are like coming
heard-
over are the ones that are trying to
no,
evade the tolls.
Then it's
but-
the whole, the debate I was reading on Nextdoor is if
Right.
it doesn't have tags,
Right.
that's when they won't take it.
Right.
So it's like,
They
so
ignore it,
people
it's
purposely
invisible.
remove the
The
tags
cars become
of the
invisible. I
cars,
don't
and then they
understand
don't, for
that.
some reason, they can't take them
They
if they don't
can't
have the
because they
tag,
don't-
because they don't know
right.
who it belongs to.
The cars
And
become
other-
The
invisible.
conspiracy on Nextdoor is those cars belong to cops. That's
Oh
why I'm
my
telling you. Nextdoor, you don't need TV.
Oh my
Just read
God,
Nextdoor.
yeah, and PLG.
And PLG Nextdoor is the best.
So can we find out
Other topics?
when we gonna have a ride through, a tow operation?
Sure.
You know, you know, we can.
That environment?
Well, it's a public safety committee.
You should bring it
That's-
up at
yeah.
the precinct community council. Go ask
Oh
the
no,
commanding
I'm
officer.
a member of the public safety also, so I will be bringing that up also. But that's also it's an EP thing because I'm trying to get a abandoned car
So that
off
the
the
street can be
street.
cleaned.
No,
Yeah.
no, because these
And
are my
it's being
places.
used as storage, and
Yeah.
the owner actually
Yeah.
opened up the hood and said, "There's rats in there. Look, there go one, there go one." So there's actually rats
That
living
sounds like
in there.
public
Yeah.
Interesting.
Other topics?
I'm just curious, like I said, I wanted to know about like the 311 complaints and how we know what we're going to address, because I saw on the agenda, it was like review of prior matters, and I'm curious how we get different matters that we can like handle, because personally, I previously, I'm still kind of dealing with it, had a noise issue, and I noticed, like with my downstairs neighbor would play video games from 1 to 4 a.m. So I was told I was told it was various people's problems. I'm like, okay, the NYPD can handle that. They can issue a ticket. No, the NYPD says it's your landlord. You go to your landlord. If you're in a rent-stabilized apartment, your landlord can't do much, so you have to take it to the HPD, but then the HPD doesn't do it. So I was so curious, like, for matters like that, things that go to 311, not just noise, like I'm handling my situation fortunately, but we'll see how that goes. But I was just curious, what are the top
Seems like they want you to
concerns?
stick your neck out too far. Like
Yeah.
you're complaining, you shouldn't have to
Oh,
do that.
Yeah, because I want to know what the most
You
reoccurring
should be able to complain anonymously.
and have something
And-
enforced,
and-
especially if it's a
right.
reoccurring
You
issue.
shouldn't have to
Yeah.
put your name attached
You
to
shouldn't have to
anything
give your name
that's
to
gonna
anyone.
Yeah,
jeopardize
over and over.
your safety.
So I'm just curious, like, why, it's like there's so many issues, and I'm wondering what other issues are out there where it's like a black hole, like what I was dealing with,
Yeah,
what I am dealing
Well,
with, you
again, I
know?
think the Dante's the district manager, and I'll confirm this with him, has access to 311 data.
That would be really cool to get, because I could
So
probably sort
across
that.
the, the
Mhm.
system for what kinds of complaints and response times and all that sort of stuff, so
Yeah.
we'll
Because that's why I got involved, because I was just like, I felt